Good morning, warriors. Fernando here, God's Prepared Warrior, and welcome to Tuesday. And thank you guys for joining me last night for God's Prepared Warrior Live. If you are watching this video for the very first time, we go live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I want to invite you to come out on YouTube and join us for an hour and join the community. It's a great community. The chat room is always really cool in there. It's interactive. We talk together about the topic for the evening, and it's just a great and fun time. So thank you guys for joining me last night. It was super fun, and look forward to seeing you next Monday on our God's Prepared Warrior Live. It's going to be super fun as always. So thank you guys for coming. Today is Tactical Tuesday, and so I'm deeming that Tactical Tuesday, so we'll get to talk about tactical stuff. And you might say, well, Fernando, what do you have for us tactically today? And it's not a show and tell thing today, but I want to talk about slow down to speed up. And I want to talk about that today. And this is a tactical skill that doesn't require a piece of equipment, okay? So it doesn't cost you anything, and it can actually make a tremendous difference when things suddenly just kind of go wrong, right? So I think that sometimes we need to slow down, right? I know that kind of sounds strange, but when an emergency happens, right? In an emergency, our natural reaction is to move faster, right? But sometimes moving faster creates more mistakes. And I think it also depends too on the emergency and what's happening, right? There are going to be times where moving faster creates mistakes, and that's what I want to talk about today, right? A prepared warrior learns to pause, assess, and then act, right? The first few seconds really matter, right? Imagine you hear something unexpected in your home at 2 a.m., right? Your first instinct might be to jump out of bed and immediately run to the noise, right? Now I'm going to pause right here because we're going to go to scary movies, right? Have you ever seen a scary movie and the person is upstairs, it's the middle of the night, and something goes bump in the middle of the night? What happens? Well, they get up and they go downstairs, and all along the way, they never turn on any kind of lights, right? And all of a sudden, they meet the scary thing that's downstairs. Well, that's what came to my head when I thought about that. But what if you took a few seconds to think, right? What if you took, a moment to assess what is happening, right? What did I actually hear? Hear it again, right? Where did it come from? You're listening to where exactly that sound came from, right? Is my family safe? Should be the question we're asking, right? Do I need to move toward the problem, or do I need to move away from it, right? Depending on what you hear. Those few seconds of assessment can help prevent a bad decision, right? Because we have to understand that we cannot let adrenaline make every decision, right? When we're startled or we're afraid, our bodies respond automatically. Our heart rate increases, right? Our breathing changes. Our attention kind of narrows, and we begin to focus on one thing and overlook probably something important, right? And that's why training matters. That's why practicing with your preps is important, right? The goal isn't to eliminate, the body's response. The goal is to develop the discipline to work through it, right? You have to stop, you have to breathe, you have to assess, you have to decide, and then you act, right? This applies more, to physical threats, right? Think about a storm warning, right? A rumor spreading on social media, a sudden financial problem, a vehicle breakdown, a family emergency, all those things, right? Power outage, all of those things. In each situation, the temptation is to react immediately, right? It's to burst into action, right? But a tactical Tuesday mindset asks this question: what do I actually know, right? And what don't I know? What is the immediate danger, right? What is the safest next step? That's tactical thinking. We have to teach our family the pause, right? This is something that you can teach your entire household. When something unexpected happens, don't immediately scream. That's the reaction. That's the tendency that wants to happen within us, right? Don't immediately run or don't immediately panic, right? Teach your family to stop. Teach them to look. Teach them to listen. Teach them to think. Teach them to act, right? This simple sequence can become a family habit, right? It could become the thing that maybe even saves a family member, right? And the more that you practice it during ordinary situations, right, the easier it becomes when something serious really happens, right? What's the spiritual connection here? There's a spiritual lesson that we have to learn today. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God," right? Being still doesn't mean, doing nothing. It means recognizing that God is greater than the situation that you're facing. And sometimes the most faithful thing that you can do in a stressful moment is pause long enough to pray, to seek wisdom, to be, before we ever make a decision, right? Is to bring God into that situation, right? We prepare our minds, we train our bodies, we develop our skills, and we trust God to guide our decisions, right? Here's your challenge for today. I want you to practice the STOP method, right? We're going to use the word STOP as an acronym today. When something unexpected happens, even something small, right? Practice STOP. The S stands for stop, right? Take a moment, right? Don't react automatically. Stop. The T stands for take a breath, right? Give your mind a moment, right, to kind of catch up, to kind of know what's happening, right? Take that breath. The O is for observe, right? What is actually happening? What sounds do you hear, right? P is for proceed wisely, right? Take the safest and the most appropriate next step. You don't have to wait for an emergency to practice this. Use it, right? Use it today. When you're driving, when something breaks, take a moment, stop, breathe, right? When someone gives you unexpected news, take a moment, stop, right? Breathe. Don't say what comes to your mind, right? Take a moment and ask God for wisdom. When you see something unusual, right? Stop. Train your mind to pause before it reacts. Because sometimes the fastest way to, make the right decision is to slow down long enough to think, right? That's Tactical Tuesday. And I think that if we take the time to stop, to breathe, right, to observe, and to proceed, I think we are putting ourselves in a better track, in a better way of thinking, and we'll be making better decisions because we are not basing our decisions or our actions on adrenaline, right? So, on this Tactical Tuesday, stay calm, stay observant, right? Stay disciplined, trust God always. And as I always say, stay vigilant and stay prepared. Guys, have a great Tuesday. And thank you again for joining me last night on our live stream. It was super fun. I look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That helps us push this out further. And you guys are doing a phenomenal job, just as we looked at last night. As you comment, as you share, as you like the videos, do that, because the more people we can bring together, the more people we can help move into the preparedness space, and we can all be ready for whatever comes our way. Have a great day, guys. I'm praying for all of you. Don't forget to check out one of these 2 videos, and see you on the next one. God bless.